Sorry about that. I think the storage was too much. I had to delete some things so I can record this. So this will just be a part two. So another thing I wanted to talk about, or the second thing, was I noticed on Instagram there was this post that I saw by Daquan. Actually, I know some people, a lot of people should know about this account. They just post funny things. And, I still follow them, I love their quads posts. It's funny. They have a lot of funny stuff, or whoever runs that account. But this certain post that they posted, it basically was, I don't know if it's probably like a podcast or something like that, but it's like, it was like 2 girls, 3 girls, or something like that, and then 3 other guys. And they were like on these couches, and they were just sitting and talking. And the girl asked this guy, asked one of the guys, oh, what's your sun sign, or what's your star sign, right? Asking for the zodiac sign. And then the guys, they're like, oh, no, here we go again. And the guy that was asked the question, he starts going off and moaning and groaning about how, like, oh, women who ask guys for their astrological signs and all that, it's a red flag, and it's fake, and it doesn't mean anything, and blah 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 blah. And then obviously I was like, okay, well, obviously this guy doesn't know anything about this, right? About astrology, for him to say some shit like that, right? And I'll be honest, it did piss me off a little bit. But then I looked at the comments, and the majority, if not all of the comments, were all guys. And they were saying the same thing about, oh yeah, girls are on some stupid shit about how, if they ask for the sign, they're toxic, and it's a red flag, and it's fake, and it's make believe, and it's not real. And I was really taken aback by this, and I guess I felt compelled. I didn't see this like just now. I saw this like probably like a week ago or something. And but this is what I'm talking about it now. And I was just so baffled, because it's like, people really got the nerve. And I'm gonna say it straight up. Guys have a lot of nerves to just say things, and because they just say it, and they're so ignorant, and they don't even realize what they're saying is foolish. Like, they just say it as if it's true, as if they're like homie, that doesn't make any sense. So you're telling me that just because girls tend to do this, you're just gonna throw away and completely say that astrology is not real? Like, homie, that obviously says that a lot of these guys that say these things haven't taken the time to research about astrology, look into it. Because if they do, 100%, not even 99%, 100%, they will understand it is real, very much real, right? The problem is people fear the unknown, right? That's literally what it is. So they don't take the time to understand these things, because they know it's a little too real, and it can be scary for most people. Now, I understand that, but when you start saying things like, oh, it's not real, without even looking into it, because obviously just by you saying that, it shows that you haven't looked into it, and you're just saying what these other guys are saying just to look good and not be judged on, be afraid to be judged by other guys, because, oh yeah, if I say I believe in astrology, guys are gonna be like, oh man, you're fucking gay, or you believe in this crap. That doesn't matter. You can't even say that nowadays, because there's obviously LGBTQ people who can defend and be a part of the community now, and it's a thing now. So it's like, you can't even say that now, That's not even an insult, So where's the logic behind that? Now, here's the thing. With astrology, you have to realize, this is for anybody, guys, girls, it doesn't matter. Astrology is not, on this part, I do agree with guys that do tend to say these things, is that astrology, and I'm gonna say it to mostly girls, because girls tend to do this. Not all girls, obviously, some guys do it as well, but it is a pattern with girls. It's like, no, astrology is not for compatibility in terms of relationships or romantic anything. That's not what astrology is for. What astrology is for yourself, point blank, period. And that's the main goal, is for yourself. It's a cheat code. It's a tool to help you know yourself. So when you know yourself, you're able to know how to work with your own energies And then by doing that, you're able to know and understand how other people act. But the basis is knowing yourself first, so that you know how to act or restrain yourself or push yourself forward and act in these certain ways in certain situations or circumstances, experiences that you find yourself in life, and know when and when not to do these things. Called working with the energies, right? And obviously, if you know your birth chart and the houses and all that, and you learn about it and you study it, then you get to know how your energies work and how you can work with them and how to handle people in your life. That's what it's for. But you see where the basis of that is yourself. You're supposed to know it about yourself and study it for yourself, not for other people. That's not what it's for. The basis is always for yourself, but it helps you how to deal with certain people. You know, that's the, I guess you could say, the side, the helpful thing that it does, you know, because we do have to deal with people. That's just what it is. But that's not the basis of it. People are using it wrong in that way. In that part, I do agree with guys. But guys are being ignorant and they just say things that fall out of their mouth. Obviously, they haven't taken the time to look into it for them to come up with those conclusions, right? So those guys that just say, do research before you open your big ass mouth. That's what I'm saying. And to your girls, you gotta understand, it is not for relationships. It helps, but that's not what it should be for. When it comes to, you know, connecting with the person on a spiritual, emotional, just a connection, right? And forming a bond and trying to, let's say you want to get with this person. Regardless, I'm talking to guys and girls, right? What you have to realize is you have to look at the person first. You have to. You have to look at them as a spirit, how they act, how they are as a person, how they think, how they act with people, how they treat you, how they treat other people. And you have to get to know them first as that person. And then over time, you know, let's say you form a deeper bond and you get close and you can start talking about deeper things. Then you can ask for their birth chart or their signs and vice versa. And then from there, you know, you can do whatever you want with it. Ultimately, it should always come back to zero of, okay, let's say we do argue and I know your birth chart, you know mine, and I'm gonna start nitpicking things like, oh, you're this and this placement and this and this. That's not, you shouldn't argue like that either, because yes, it can help in certain ways, and you can be like, hey man, you're acting like this because of this and blah, blah, blah. Or hey girl, you acting like this. That's fine, but you have to come back to zero, to the basis of it. It's like, okay, we may know this about each other and the signs and the placements, but if we come back to zero and realize, okay, look at me as I am as a person first, because it's not always going to be about the signs. You have to look at the spirit of a person first, how they act. And communication is key. That's the key. That's why nowadays people, young people, especially obviously my age and younger, have trouble with this, because communication is just such a lost thing now. It's just something that people just throw it to the side and they don't really do it as much. It's so important, right? Healthy, clear communication is very important. And by doing that, you can see the other person how they are without even having to look at or nitpick, bring up the signs. That's a secondary thing. The main thing should always be, look at me how I am as a person, as my spirit, how I'm talking to you. Let's communicate. Let's put away the signs for a bit, and then we can get down to the basis of this argument and we can be cool again, right? And that's why I say astrology is always the basis of yourself, because when you know yourself, and you learn to love yourself with the imperfections, then you'll be able to act better, act not as emotionally reactive, and you can be more logic based, right? That's what astrology is for, to know yourself and to love yourself, and how to work with your own energy so that you're not acting out of line, acting like a horrible person with certain people, acting too emotional, acting too evil, acting too whatever it is, right? It's a cheat code to help you know yourself. But you should always know that your spirit is simply how you may act. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how people are as a person. And sometimes we're not always thinking about the signs. We're just acting because we're living. We're just living, you know. It's just happening in the moment. But yeah, it's very important, you know. People need to realize that. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this video. I don't want to make this too long. I will be coming out with more karaoke covers in the future. Obviously more spirituality, astrology videos, especially astrology. I'm going to plan on actually doing astrology videos, you know, talking about the different signs and the placements and the houses and all that. I will be doing a video on those a little bit in the future. Very near future. I just have, you know, so much things going on in my life. I don't always find the time to do it. So, but I hope everyone's doing okay. If anyone has any questions or wants to talk to me, I guess just you can follow me on my Instagram. You can shoot me a DM. You can comment. I'd love to, you know, I'd love for people to talk to me and let me know what they think. Yeah, to the next video.